What's going on, guys and gals? LMG, how's everyone doing? Let us know in the chat where you're coming in from. Happy Sunday morning, 17th of August. Wow, this year's going super, super fast, man. This year's going super fast. What's going on? We got Ibiza, Scotland, Ireland, Birmingham, Serbia. Welcome to the call. Manchester. I saw the event happening yesterday. That looked crazy. Congratulations to Manchester making it happen. Hertfordshire. Looking forward to being in Scotland next weekend as well. I know Birmingham are doing some big things as well. Love it, love it. Cool. Well, guys, welcome to the mindset call. So these calls, I do these calls every week, when possible. And it's just basically to give you a gentle reminder that, you know, you are different, by going after your goals and dreams, but it's also okay. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people, there's a lot of people in the world, 95% of the population are just not doing things like this on a Sunday morning, to be honest. Most people are, hungover from escaping reality last night, to be honest. And, they're dreading tomorrow morning because they don't have any goals, they don't have any direction. And those type of individuals, they need people like us to actually let them know, hey, listen, there's a better way, right? Because for me, up until 26, 25, 26, I didn't know there was a better way. I actually didn't know I could change. Right? Who can relate? Drop a yes in the chat if you can relate to like being in a position in your life where you're like, I didn't even know I can change. Like this is me. Right? I'm just, I've been given these cards and that's it. Some people become successful, some people get rich, and some people don't. Like that is it. It wasn't until I actually hit rock bottom, right? Complete depression, the opposite to success, literally. Where I was like, I just had a kind of feeling inside that I didn't want to take tablet to sort of numb the pain, like most people do, or take my own life. That was, something I was going to do. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I knew exactly how I was going to do it, but I think kind of God gave me a vision. And I just went all in, man. And literally the next week, the next couple of days, I actually attracted, books like Think and Grow Rich, audios like The Strangest Secret. I remember reading this book, Think and Grow Rich, sat in the armchair of my living room, thinking like, what's going on, man? Like, where, where's this book been? Like, hang on a minute. Why am I only finding this out right now? Right. And I'll be honest, man, you kind of have to get to the point of obsession where, success is like on your mug and everything. When you're drinking your coffee in front of everyone, it's just you're that obsessed with the mind. It's on your cup. No, you ain't got to get that. You ain't got to get that obsessed. But guys, if you can put your cameras on, please do so. As a sign of respect for yourself, a sign of respect for your team, a sign of respect to myself. Obviously, I don't have to do these calls. The reason why I do these calls is because my phone just kept blowing. I actually stopped these calls for a while. For those that have been with me for a few years, I actually stopped these calls and I just got loads and loads of requests saying, "God, Jake, can you bring these calls back?" Because mindset is everything. And to be honest, it was these type of calls that kind of kept me in the game because it's okay reading books, it's okay, watching YouTube clips, but sometimes those speakers, those authors, those successful people, they're just too far out of reach, right? So it's good to have maybe someone, and this is something for you to think about for your own organizations. They need someone a little bit closer to them, a little bit that's, they can actually relate to that person, on the journey to success, because it actually helps them, keep rocking and rolling. Definitely helped me anyway. But the whole goal of these calls is to sort of just give you a gentle reminder that the whole goal for everyone on this line is to rewire your programming. Your entire focus, your entire goal and mission is to actually rewire your mindset because your outside world looks like how your inside world is programmed. Okay. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about how you can obviously how it was formed, number one, but how it can be transformed. A lot of you have probably heard this information before, but if you're not a millionaire yet, I suggest that you listen to it again because remember, to know and not to have is not to know. To know and not to do is not to know, right? You all know. How crazy is this? We all know. I'm not talking to the crowd, I'm talking with the crowd. We all know how to get to that next level financially. We all know how to get to that next level health and fitness. We all know how to improve our relationships. But it's not knowing what to do. It's why aren't we doing it on a daily basis? Does that make sense? Like, have you ever questioned that? Why do we know better but don't do it? Why do we know that this habit is bad for us, but we still engage in it? Why do we know this habit is positive, but we don't engage in it, right? Consistently. That's where you want to dive in. That's where you need to understand why human beings take action and why they don't. Why you don't. And the only way you're going to learn how human beings take action and why they don't is looking at yourself and asking yourself, what motivates me? When am I taking action consistently? What's holding me back? Right? Because the more you know you, the more you know others. Does that make sense? Because we're all essentially the same. You see this here? This is basically a photo of every single person on the line. You see it? This is you. We've all got a thinker, right? We've all got a believer, and we've all got a doer. We've all got a conscious mind, a subconscious mind, and a body. Every single one of us. Oh, well, I'm different. I learn differently. No, you don't. I take on board information differently. No, you don't. You don't understand my past. No, no one cares. No one cares. Well, I don't look a certain way. No one cares. You've got a conscious mind, a subconscious mind, and a doer. Let go of all the excuses and justifications as to why you are not where you want to be right now and understand that everything is your fault. You are the reason why you blew your account. You are the reason why you're not free yet. You're the reason why you're not in the best shape of your life yet. You are the reason. That's a good thing. That's an empowering thing because imagine you not being the reason. Imagine if it was someone else in control of your fitness, someone else in control of your money, someone else in control of your life. That's a scary thought, man. So taking responsibility is the first step to change. And that's what happened to me. I was like, "Do you know what? Wow, like we become what we think about. The reason why my life is a mess is because I'm a mess. Let's level up." And that's what happened, 7 years ago. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing what works for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for you. I'm letting you know what works for me. But what I found out is that number one, you're never going to change your life unless you learn how to change what's called your paradigm. You see, one of my biggest mentors was and always will be Mr. Bob Proctor. And he always talks about paradigms. And a paradigm is basically a multitude of habits, what you think about and what you do every single day. That's what it is. It's a multitude of habits. And if you can't change your paradigm, you can't change your life. Not permanently anyway. You can change results temporarily. Drop a yes in the chat if you've seen someone or maybe you've experienced even yourself losing weight but putting it back on, making money and then losing money, right? Going for a good spell of being fired up, but then all of a sudden, at the end of the year, you still, things are still the same, right? This is because we're not taught in schools and college and universities actually how to change our life. We're not actually taught how to change our paradigm, right? So this information is basically what I'm teaching my children. This is basically, what they didn't teach me in school, right? Which is why I ended up being depressed, at the age of 25, 26. And in fact, most people, guys, I'll be honest right now, most people are struggling. I'm not sure if has everyone not looked outside recently? Most people, guys, they're living in quite desperation. They are. They're living in quite desperation. Some people they're at the beach and they're too embarrassed to take off their t-shirt. Some people, can't afford to buy their wife this. Some people can't afford to do this. Guys, this is the reality of it. So the second you start taking this information seriously is the second that you start taking your life seriously. All right. So there's two ways that your paradigm is formed and transformed. Okay. We've all heard this before, but I'm going to break it down just a little bit deeper. Okay. For those that haven't heard it, right? And for the ones that need to hear it again, one is repetition of information. This is the first thing. This is how our mindsets are actually formed. Repetition of information. And the second one is emotional impact. All right. But drop a one in the chat if you are ready to get into the information on this call. All right. I want you all, because I know everyone's got like things happening in their life right now. You've got things happening. You've got maybe some things are falling down. Maybe some things are great, right? Maybe you're fired up about Sniper Pro. Maybe I don't know what it is, guys. I don't, like good or bad. You've got things taking place. I want you all to do your very best to sort of eliminate those things right now and just pay close attention to this information. Okay. I want you all to do your very best just for the next 30 minutes, just absorb this information because I promise you, if you take on board this information, this week will be a better week. It just will. All right. So repetition of information. Then what happens is this: when you're a baby, see my baby, my babies right now, Dexter, who's two and a half, and Daisy, who's like 6 months old. Their subconscious mind right now is being formed. They don't have to change their mind. We are making up their mind. Okay. We are making up their mind. That's what we're doing. And when you were a baby, your subconscious mind was just completely wide open, right? And what happens is what we see every day, what we hear every day, what we're exposed to every day goes inside our subconscious mind. Because you see, at that age, we don't know how to accept or reject information. We just accept it. We don't know. Like we're born risk takers, right? Yesterday my son, he was running, he fell over. He came over to me a little bit upset. I let him know he's okay. He just went straight back into running again, straight back into it. And I said, this is, you see, babies are wired to be wealthy. Babies are like it's what Bob Proctor says, we're born rich, right? Because babies that they don't that we learn average. That's what we do. We learn lack. Like if you think £10,000 a month is a lot of money, that's because it's a lot of money to your parents. Does that make sense? Like if you think £1 million a year is a lot of money, it's because it was a lot of money to your parents. That's just the facts. But when your parents set a new example, like Dexter, my son's gonna feel broke if he's earning 10,000 a month. He's gonna be like, "This is an emergency, Dad. Like, what needs to take place? We need to level up. This is disgusting. This is outrageous. How can I even have how can I even treat? I'm not even ready for a partner yet, Dad, because I'm only earning 10,000 a month. She deserves way more than that. Fucking tell me about it. You're right, son. Get your ass to work. Different paradigm, different perception, right? What we think is right and wrong, what we think is big and small, what we think is fast and slow, what we think is hard, what we think is easy, what we think is realistic, what we think is unrealistic is based on our environment, is based on how we've been conditioned. So when I first met Bob Proctor, I met someone and he was like there. Get this, guys. There was a guy that I met and he's there like ready to learn. He's taking notes. He's like fired up. He's taking all sorts of notes, and I'm thinking, whoa, no way, man! Like this is so great. Everyone's here ready to learn. Got talking to him. So how much you earning? 120,000. I was thinking, whoa. He said a month. What? A month? Yeah, a month. And he's there, pissed off for success at a seminar, taking notes, more notes than me. He's hungry than me. Hang on a minute. What's going on here? So, because back in Birmingham, if you're working at Jaguar Land Rover, you're winning. There's nothing better out there, apparently. Have I? You see, I spoke to someone yesterday. By the way, I had two heavy hitters that got started yesterday with Katie McCormack. And he said, so basically, you're selling the dream. I said, yeah, someone's got to, because everyone's bought into a nightmare. We bought into a nightmare. Go to school, get good grades, get a good paying job. If you want to get more money, you have to get what? Higher education. Deeper into the matrix. Did you know people with A's and B's are normally employed by people who got no grades? I'm not a smart guy. But what I learned is how to make money, how to manifest, how to think and grow rich, right? So that's how your mind's been formed. Let me tell you right now how to transform it. Ready? You have to do some, then this is a daily process. See, some of you want to be successful in trading and eventually quit your job, right? But if you're not doing this, I promise you, you will self-sabotage at some point and it will go back down to square zero. And you'll blame everything but your lack of commitment to changing the way that we think. Trust me, I promise you, I've seen it so many times. People are so fired up. I'm making profit, I'm making profit, I'm making profit, I'm making profit, I'm making profit. 6 months later, where are you? Oh, yeah, yeah. So I had a couple bad trades. Turns out it's not for me. No, you wasn't working on your self-worth. That's what's happened. That's what's happened, guys. All right. So, number one, you have to read some sort of personal development every day, especially in the beginning of your journey. I know you hear some leaders say, you don't need books, you don't need to read this, you don't need to read that. I promise you, they have had a season of their life where they have read some sort of positive material every single day. I promise you this right now. Because I hear them say, you don't need personal development. You don't need to read. Reading. I don't read and forget that. We'll read when we get to. Okay. What about those 3, 4 years that you did reading? How about that? Does that make sense? So guys, yes, number one, you do need personal development. Because remember, Jake Parton is, I care about your long-term success, not just your short-term success. I care about your long-term success. Now, reading shouldn't get in the way of your goal achieving. That's what this way it gets messed up. I understand why leaders say that. Because when you first get into personal growth, I'm telling you, I went through a phase of like, I was like setting goals for how many books I could read. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to read this one this week. I'm going to read this one. I was hearing people say, I'll read a book a day. I'll read a fucking book a day. I'll do 8 hours. But I was still broke because what was happening was I was obviously not doing any work. I was just reading. So it only becomes a problem if you're an emotional wreck and you can't control yourself. So if you want to just understand that you don't need to do hours and hours and hours of reading every day. 30 minutes to 45 minutes every day is perfect. You don't work out in the gym for 6 hours a day. You work out in the gym for 30 minutes to an hour a day. That's all it takes. Perfect. You work out your body the same as you work out your mind, just daily. Does that make sense? Right. Second thing is this. I would highly recommend that you turn your car into a time where whenever you're driving, you're like, driving is all about me winning. Whenever I'm driving, it's I'm winning. What does that mean? My car is now a university. All I listen to when I'm driving is personal growth or trainings from someone who's in my particular industry. Obviously, we're in network marketing, right? So I listen to other network marketing millionaires do trainings as I'm driving my car. Because guess what? You know, when you're driving your car, you're obviously habitually driving your car, but because you've got to like, look at the road and stuff like that, you're not actually denying any of the information. It's just going straight in. Does that make sense? It's going straight in your sub. How many times have you been walking around the supermarket and you just like humming a song? Or you walk out and you're shopping, like, why is this song stuck in my head? Turns out when you were walking around Boots earlier, right, this song was playing and you didn't even realize it just went straight into your subconscious mind. Now you're humming this tune that it's stuck in your head. Why? Because you weren't thinking, but what's going on around you is going inside you. Well, guess what? If you have personal development playing all the time around, like the first thing I do with my son when I wake up in the morning, come down, and as I'm doing my reading, as I'm doing my gratitudes and stuff like that, I've actually got personal development on in the background while he's playing with his toys and stuff like that, and it's just going in. So I'm actually reading personal development, listening to it subconsciously in the background. When I get in my car, that's all I'm playing. When I'm in the gym, obviously I do like to listen to some like crazy like aggressive music, right? But long story short, guys, you want to make sure that you're listening to some sort of personal development every single day. All right, turn your car into a university. You're going for a walk, one headphone in, personal growth. Okay. Next, another way to sort of reprogram and understand that repetition of information is key is writing things down, not in your phone either. Okay, not in your phone. I'm talking actually getting a pen right? On paper, in blue ink if you can. Blue ink's just blue ink. Blue looks better and actually feels better to look at than black. It just does. Blue ink, right? And you're actually writing down like either you know what I do, guys. When I used to work night shifts. Get this. I was like I said, I was a bit of a psychopath. I'm right-handed, so I used to get my left hand and write my goal in present tense in my left hand. Why? Because I really had to like think about what I was writing down, and I wrote it down. My income goal, like on page after page after page after page. Just read. I'll be in meetings. People think I'm taking notes on what's being said. I'm just writing out my dream life. Just writing it out. I live here, I do this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. I'm writing out a big, when I'm a millionaire, here's what I'm going to do, here's where I'm going to live, here's the car, I'm going to give this much a month away to my sister, this much a month away to my dad. How am I going to do it? I'm going to take them I'm literally just writing out, manifesting, writing it out, guys. Some people say, journaling, stuff like that, guys. This is super important. You see, this is how you rewire your mind. All right. That's daily. Okay, the more the better. Okay. Another thing when it comes to changing, repetition of information is, and this kind of intertwines with emotional impact, but this is the key. Guess where we get a lot of our information from? Is everyone aware that we get a lot of our information from the people that we associate with? Is everyone aware of that? Yeah. So when you change your network, you'll change your net worth. Okay. Net worth is not just money. Net worth is happiness. Net worth is, enthusiasm. Net worth is health and fitness, right? I put a status on yesterday saying, I'm just one of those friends where if you're around me, I'm going to make you feel bad if you're not making money in your sleep and not training in the gym at least 5 times a week. Like you're going to feel uncomfortable around me, right? And that's how you want to be. You want to be that person that says, "Hey, listen, here's the new standard. Here's what we're going to do." Okay. Like I'll be honest, we've got an event coming up in Devon, 6th of September. We ain't going out partying after the event. No. We're going to get up nice and early, do a massive workout instead. See that? Much better. Much better, right? That's how I live. Those are my standards, right? We'll go for some nice food. Don't get me wrong, but food's yeah, but we love the food, right? So change your network, change who you've got to start quick because you've got to understand how your mind works. You see, successful people, they really care about their mind like it's like a separate entity. And if you're hanging around people that think £10,000 a lot, £10,000 a month is a lot of money, and that's your goal, you need to actually start to disassociate with those people. Or when they start talking about it, you need to correct them. Hey, listen, it's only a lot of money to your paradigm. It's not a lot of money. A lot is it's all relative. £10,000 a month is a lot to 2,000, but it's actually broke to someone making 100,000. Are you aware of that? It's all relative. So you have to educate your people. Well, I can't say that to my friends. They won't like me anymore. Okay, do you want to be liked or do you want to be rich? Do you want to be liked or do you want to be rich? Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Okay, next one is the emotional impact. Okay, so here's where a lot of people that go wrong. They think they have to wait until they have a car crash to like wake up. They think they have to wait until they like go through some sort of terrible situation to like change. No, people say, "Oh, it's all right for you, Jack. You were suicidal." What? Guys, I'll be honest. You don't have to go. You don't have to be suicidal, to change. Does that make sense? You don't have to. Like it's emotional impact. You can sort of create it. Here's how you create it. Okay, acting like the goal is already done. Okay, keyword acting. Okay, we're taking notes. I'll actually underline. I'm going to underline some words we are acting like the goal is already done. That means action. Okay, action. Yeah, doing what it takes to win, even when you don't. Underline the word don't feel like it. Do you know doing what it takes to win, even when you don't feel like it, automatically just puts you in the top like 2%, 1% of the world? Because most people just are emotional wrecks. I've lost the trade. That's it. I'm out. Oh God, you're not going to be successful ever. Someone's told me no. Oh God, just quit. My nan don't believe in me. Oh God. I was gonna do the live, but I didn't feel like it. Oh God. That's why that's why you've got a boss to pay you for your time. Do you want to be your own boss though? Yeah, yeah. So just put your feelings. No one cares about your feelings. No one cares. Nobody cares about how you feel, guys. I can say this on this call. I can talk like this on this call because you are all here to take your life to the next level. Feelings have nothing to do with it. What you do every day does, right? Now, how do you how what makes this easier? Using your imagination. You see, I wouldn't go to the gym and put myself through all that pain if in my mind I wasn't, manifesting a bigger, better version of me. Does that make sense? This is what the quote says in the Bible. Where there's no vision, the people perish. Like if you, it's not even going to make sense to put yourself through hard work if you don't have a vision. Does it? Like I get it. The only reason why people quit is because they lose the vision. Like guys, I've got a vision of being a really good example to my children, right? So that means that Jake Parton will continuously step outside his comfort zone because of my vision. If I didn't have that vision of being a good dad, I wouldn't even step out my comfort zone. There's no reason for me to, right? This is why it's super important every day. Like I've got goal cards everywhere, guys. I never let my mind forget the vision. I never let my mind forget the vision. I got dream boards. Me and my wife were always talking about our dream life, where we're going, where we want to live, what, the sort of life that we want to manifest. We're always talking about, where we're going, and when we get to this point, what we can do. We're always manifesting, right? That's what makes the work, the sacrifice easy. It's easy for me to sacrifice. It's easy for me to stay consistent. I actually find it harder to be inconsistent. Like I just been to Marbella for 10 days. Like most people think, oh man, you must have had such a good time. For someone like me, it's hard work, to be honest. I actually find it hard to not be super aggressively attacking my goals. Does that make sense? Like I have to really try to be on holiday. Be on the beach or just I'm just like, is this what we do sunbathing? Is this sunbathing? How do we sunbathe? Do we just not lie down doing nothing? Okay. Hmm. 10 seconds goes by. How long are we doing this for? What's the goal? What's next? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, what can we? What's the plan? What are we doing? Jack, we're on holiday. Like it doesn't make like people. There's a double-edged sword to being free. Does that make sense? Because people who are free, they're normally wired differently. Like people say, oh, I can't wait just to go on holiday all the time and have freedom. I'm like, it, you're not gonna actually get that thinking that way. Does that make sense? You just not. That's not how anyone who has freedom doesn't think that way. They're like, what's my goal? What's next? Like I need to win. Are we still winning? And don't get me wrong, we still. In fact, I actually made more money last week than I've made in every week of this year. To be honest, I had a great week. It's been fantastic because I was just on a great frequency. Waking up just sunset. I was like, fuck, I couldn't place a wrong trade if I tried. Was making money. People were joining the business. Momentum. It was just crazy. It was mad. Events taking place all over the world. I'm just like waking up to just people joining my business every day. It's crazy, man. I was just like, fantastic. Cheers. Thank God someone recruited me into this business. Thank God I had a good friend. Hey, Jack, listen. Um, don't care if you get started or not. What matters to me is that you just take a look at this industry because I'm about to take this thing to the top, and it may or may not be for you. Can you just take a look? Doesn't matter to me if you get started, but can you just take a look? Yeah, I'll have a look. Wow, I'm in. Thank you so much for changing my life. Imagine this is why people are, well, I've got to go to my family and friends. I'm like, wow, like you do not believe in yourself at all, do you? Guys, could I just be honest? If you're in the network marketing and you're like, you don't want to go to your friends and family, you do not believe in yourself one bit. Like your level of self-belief is to the flow. Like your self-image is like my old mentor used to say, as low as a pregnant ant. You can't get lower than a pregnant ant. Okay, so like guys, I'll be honest, if you're not going to your friends and family, you've got some self-esteem issues. I'm just letting you know. You see, I believe in Jake. So when I join this business, I'm calling everyone. If I could call the Queen, I call the Queen. I'm still trying to get a number. Hey, listen, it doesn't matter to me if you join, but you need to take a look. All right, because this fucking hell. Uh, all right, so let's get back to it. Acting before you're ready. Next one, acting before, keyword, before you're ready. Most people, yeah, man. Once I get on my, I saw a really funny reel the other day. It was like your prospect getting all their ducks in order before they get started, and it was like there was about a million ducks just all like. I was like, guys, like that person's never going to become successful. Let me just wait until things are more convenient and I've got more order in my life to take action on my goals and dreams. What does that mean? That once you get on the track of taking action on your goals and dreams, if anything happens, you're going to come off track. Yeah, you're never going to be successful then. You see, successful, they are able to be productive when they're off track. Successful people, they take actions when things are inconvenient, when things that they can actually be productive in what's called organized chaos. If you're the sort of person that only steps forward when things are going well, you cannot become successful as an entrepreneur. It's not how it works, unfortunately. You can try, and maybe you can go and find another leader who will say, yeah, you can, it'll work. That person will keep paying the membership and keep believing that one day they're going to make it. No, not with Jake Parton's organization, you're not, because that's never going to work. Imagine having a personal trainer tell you that it's okay to eat multiple cookies every day and you're going to have a six pack. Is that a good coach or a bad coach? Bad coach, right? Bad coach. That's a bad coach. A good coach can say, listen, I'll be honest, like it's going to take you, not eating those, every day. You could probably have one, once a week, whatever. But you want to be honest with your people, man. You want to be really honest with your people because they're gonna respect you long term. It might not make sense to them right now, but I promise you, 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, they're like, oh, do you know what? Jake was right. Bonnie was right. Fraser was right. Chris was right when he said that XYZ is never gonna and now I understand. Because you see, people they only learn through pain and more pain, unfortunately. Even a mentor can tell you, hey, listen, here's what not to do and here's what to do. And I promise you, you're still gonna touch that hot stove. It's how we're wired. It's how we're wired, guys. We still want to do it our way. We still think there's a better way. We still think there's a shortcut to it. We do. We're like, now, do you know what? I know it's never worked for anyone else in the history of time in network marketing. I know this has never worked ever, but I truly, truly believe that I can make this work. Okay, cool. Amazing. Go ahead and make it work. Go for it. And then just let me know. Let me know whenever you need me. All right. Because I'm going to be over here on the track that, where it actually works. Next, sacrificing. This is actually an emotional impact. Sacrificing. Sacrifice is basically giving up something of a lower nature to attract something of a higher nature. Don't forget, guys, what I'm doing right now is I'm giving you all how to change your paradigm. This is how you create long-lasting results. And what this does, it changes your identity of how you see you, right? It changes your identity. Not only that, even the people in your life, this, your spouse and your family and your friends, they start to look at you differently and treat you differently because you're over here. You're basically saying no and you're saying yes to different things. You're saying no to going out drinking and wasting time and all that stuff. And you're saying yes, to traveling, to events, going to seminars, taking action. You're sacrificing your evenings, you're sacrificing your time to go ahead and, create freedom. Okay, it's going to be different. You are going to start to see yourself differently. Basically, guys, this is how you have an emotional impact. So you see, people like me, I don't take action to get the desired result. Obviously we want the result, but the action I know is changing me, and it's going to be the change in me that eventually creates permanent change. Does that make sense? So I'm actually more excited and enthusiastic about taking new action than I am about manifesting the new result. I've had results, but being the same person before. And guess what happened? My results came back down. I've gone from 50,000 a month back down to 5,000 a month. That's anxiety. Does that make sense? That's stress because you start to like live this new life and then it comes down. It's like, wow, wow. Our company's fault. This, no, Jake's fault. Jake's fault. Okay. Same with you. And this is why I'm giving you my lessons right now. Okay. How else can you get emotional impacts? Events in person. Like if you are in this organization and you wanna really change your family's generational curse, I would do your very best to get to physical events where you're all trading together, you're meeting up together, you're building the business together, right? You're coming together and you're actually getting together with like-minded people. Hopefully, there's someone that you're getting together with that has got better results than you. You don't just want to associate with people on the same level as you. You want to associate with people that have got better results than you in trading and in business. Does that make sense, guys? Because that way, then you're going to catch their consciousness, you're going to catch their perception. Because they could just tweak a couple things. Could be the way you're speaking. Could be the few words that you're saying wrong. Could be, I don't know, loads of different variables that this person says. Oh no, if you just change that, you'll get this result. And you've never done that before because you've never been around people that are winning before. Because we like to build our ego versus our life. We actually prefer to be around people that we're winning bigger than naturally. It feels more natural to us to hang around people that are on the same level or lower than us. It takes conscious, intentional effort to put yourself in an environment where people are making more money than you, are in better shape than you. And guess what? Normally, those environments aren't free. They're not. Normally, you have to pay either through money or sweat equity. You see, network marketing, you can put effort in and attract to be around the leaders. We just got back from a Marbella retreat where we stayed in a £9 million mansion. We had two super yachts. We had a chef, content. It was the ultimate location, and it was completely free for everyone. You know how they got there? They put the work in. They put the work in. There's some people that actually make more money than some of the people in that room, in that room, in trading. They make more money trading. But I promise you see these people in this £9 million mansion, they'll go on to make more money eventually long term because of the consciousness that they're gaining. Make sense? So you want to make sure that you're doing you're doing your ultimate best to put yourself around people that have what it is that you actually want. All right. Next, another reason, that intertwining with that, how to have an emotional impact, observing a winner take action. Observe. This is I see Sean on the line. Sean Messi saying, "Oh man, you know what? Seeing some of the leaders take some calls has really helped me increase my results this week." Sean knew all that. He knew what to say. He knows guys. I mean, is a gold leader. He knows what he's doing, but just being around it and observing massive shifts taking place. And then because you see, I actually watched something last night, and this is actually true scientifically. When we observe someone doing an action, there's actually neuro pathways in our mind that starts to get formed because we start to actually imaginary do the action ourselves. When we watch someone take action, right? So when I'm training with my coach, Big Stu, like, and I'm watching what he's doing, I'm actually manifesting the same results as him just by observing him. Just by observing him. Same when it comes to the business. Was in Marbella, and just before Marbella, I actually there's a song by Chris Brown called "It Depends," and there's a dance move to it. Right? There's actually a dance move to it called Chris Brown. It depends. And I was watching it so often. When I got up to do it, I could just do it. It's so weird. I'd never practiced it. So when I heard this last night, I was like, no, wow, I did that with the Chris Brown dance. So when I saw it, because I've watched it so many times, I was actually my brain was building neural pathways. So when I stood up to do it, my subconscious mind had the dance ready. I obviously didn't do it perfect, but I had the moves. Do you know what I'm saying? I had the moves. And that's how we learn when it comes to network marketing. So if you're around people that like in your particular area, or even a drive away, like 3, 4, 5, 6 hour drive away from someone in your organization that's actually getting the results that you want, you need to be doing your very best to spend some time around them whilst they're taking calls, whilst they're doing work. That's how you're gonna have an emotional impact and change your paradigm. All right. So what I want everyone to do is there's really five things that I want you to all think about. Okay, just five things. I want you to think about, where do you want to be 90 days from now? Number one, in the business. Number two, with your trading. And number three, I want to see, I want to know where you want to be, like health and fitness wise too. I don't want to know, but you know, write that down for you. Where do you want to be health and fitness? Where do you want to be trading? Where do you want to be business? Right? Relationships maybe as well. Throw that in there. 90 days. Okay, 90 days. Where do you want to be? So, and then what we do is we work backwards from it. So, if that's where you want to be 90 days from now, where do you need to be by the end of August? Where do you need to be by the end of August? Where do you want to be? Right? That's number two. Number three, what's your goal for this week? Sunday to Sunday. So, the next Sunday call that we do, what do you want to achieve this week? Is it, is it in your business? Maybe you want to get two customers, three customers. Maybe you want to hit a certain rank this week in the trading. Maybe you want to get a certain percentage done this week, right? Health and fitness. Obviously, it's quite hard to get a result in a week in fitness, but do you want to at least hit the gym 4 times, 5 times this week, right? Get some cardio in, whatever it is. Do you want to eat clean for 5 days of your life, right? Stick to it. What is it you want to do? No drinking, no smoking, no vices. Okay, no watching porn, no being, no gossiping, no doing some crazy negative things that are gonna make you live in regret. If you are engaging in activities that end with you feeling regretful, like you feel regret, shame, or guilt, that's low frequency. You cannot attract a high frequency life while being in a low frequency vibration. So anything that gives you regret, guilt, shame, I want you to eliminate. Let it go. Drop all vices. Wasting time is another one. If you've got a partner and looking at other people through lust is another one. All right. We actually watched I think it was a horror film in Marbella called, is it The Seven Deadly Sins or something like that, with Brad Pitt? No, yeah, with Brad Pitt, yeah. And if you just ask Siri what the seven deadly sins are, yes, seven, yeah. Like you'll see, like you need to eliminate them essentially. Gluttony, like lust, right? Envy, wrath, right? I'll let you do your research. Let go of them. All right, promise you, you'll start living at a higher frequency. Meaning, here's the cool thing. You could do the same work that you've been doing, but if you eliminate all these sins, all these vices, I promise you, because of the frequency that you'll be on, how you feel about self, how your body's actually vibrating, you will attract better results. Now, guess what? It might not be after one week. Why? Because you might have to go cold turkey. And has everyone ever seen anyone go cold turkey? Meaning that, yeah, they actually look like they're going backwards before they go forwards. So you may have to stay consistent on dropping these voices for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days for the universe to catch up with this new version of you. But I promise you, if you can get through the 90 days, your life will never be the same. Your identity will shift and you will feel so good about you that the monetary result or the physical body, that's all extra. That's all extra, guys. Someone said, "How do you feel good when you're not looking good, or how do you feel good when your situation's not good?" You, you feel good not by the result. You feel good by what you're doing every day. I've said this before. You give me someone who's got a six pack and they're eating terrible food for 2 or 3 days, not training in the gym, they're gonna feel terrible. You give me someone who's got a big belly and they've been in the gym every day for 2 or 3 days eating healthy, they're actually going to feel better about themselves than the person over here with a six pack. Does that make sense? It's not about where you are right now. It's what are you doing today? That's what makes you feel good. That's because you're like, yeah, do you know what? I'm a champion. You don't win a championship and then you are now a champion. You become a champion, and then you'll go on ahead and win championships. This is the focus for everyone. Okay. So number three, goal for the week. Number four, if that's the goal for the week, what's your plan for today? What's your plan for today? Right? Once you got that down, what's your plan for tomorrow? Jim Rohn says the best way to start tomorrow is when it's finished. The best way to start a week is when it's finished. The best way to start a month is when it's finished. Do you know what he means by that? It's when it's planned out. You can literally look. If you plan your week out, you can actually look at that week and say, wow, what a week. Wow. Who's ever done that? Who's ever actually planned their week and said, whoa, like if I do this by next Sunday, regardless of the result, like I'm going to feel great about me. If I hit 5 people up a day, if I post a bit of content every single day, if I hit the gym, get up super early, do my morning routine, I eat clean, and I do that every day for 6 days. On that seventh day, I'm going to feel like an absolute champion, right? And here's what I'm going to do as well. I'm actually going to reward myself for the effort. I'm actually going to reward effort. I'm not going to reward results. I'm going to reward effort. So if we just do this, here's a reward. Nice meal, watch a film, relax, put your feet up, right? Just get 2 people on the webinar, let Jake Part and Salam into the business, and you're good to go. All right. So what's the plan for today? What's the plan for tomorrow? And then I want everyone just to understand we got a call today at 5 p.m. I'm going to be going really deep into everything. Okay. So if you haven't already, go to the Mighty app and share your trading results into the results section. Because I'm actually going to be sharing that section today on the Zoom call. And you want to have at least 2 guests on the line. So there's 58 people right now. This call got to about 66. There's 58 people on the line right now. Every person can have 2 people on the 5 p.m. call if their life depended on it. That means that there should be. I mean, I'm not good at maths, so someone tell me if 58 people had 2 people? Told you, ain't gotta be smart. 116 people on the call. I think it's more than that. Is it more than that? Yeah, it's more than that. If every person had one person, it'd be like 116, right? So everyone has 2 people, right? Everyone has 2 people on the call at 5 p.m. And it's going to be that's how you change lives. Okay, remember the only reason why you wouldn't do that is because of low self-esteem. So if you want to increase your self-esteem, start acting like you already have it. How do people with high self-esteem act? They actually get people involved in what they're doing because what they're doing, they genuinely believe is the best thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. If I do something, I'm like, this is the best thing in the world. Why? Because I'm the best thing in the world. I'm the star of my own movie. I'm not an extra. If there was something better than this, I'd be doing it. Does that make sense? I'm the king of the castle in my life. Are you the king? Are you the king and queen of the castle in your life? Because if you are, you want to have 2 guests on today's call. Because if it's good enough for you, it's good enough for them. If it's good enough for Alex Moore, it's good enough for them, right? Does that make sense? All right, guys, amazing. I'll take a couple of questions and we'll end it there. Bonnie, you can start recording now.